Welcome to Aired Out. I'm JD Green. Thanks for subscribing to my YouTube channel and for checking out the podcast now in its 23rd day, 24th day, something like that. January 1st, we kicked this off. And, before I thank my sponsors, I just want to take a second here and thank my lovely lady, Sherilyn, who I have forgotten to thank the last couple of podcasts. She is a very special lady, and without her, I don't know what I would do. She has supported me and encouraged me to try this out for a long time, and I cannot wait for Sherilyn to join me on the show. Don't forget to not only subscribe to Aired Out on YouTube, but also to take a minute and post some comments. Make sure to like, make sure to share, tell your friends about this. This is a community podcast, if you will. That's something that I'm hoping will continue to grow once we get out of the trials here and really start to get some momentum here. And get some greater traction. I'm already so impressed with the amount of feedback I've received so far. It's very clear to me that there is a need in Central Vermont to have something like this, and bringing it to a platform of not only YouTube but also Central Vermont Television Studios here in Barrie is so exciting. Let's take a minute here. I want to thank my sponsors, of which are so key, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate them. CBD Crave, the quality you deserve, top brands in CBD products delivered right to your door. These guys are amazing. If you get on cbdcrave.com, you can chat with them. You can learn a lot about some of their products, which I have here on the table in front of us. Ask questions, get answers, and most importantly, get some product and start feeling better real soon. They even have products for your pets. I love the honey. I love the balms. They're just great products. cbdcrave.com. Peak Entertainment of Vermont and New Hampshire. If you caught the last show with Newton Wells, the owner, you know that it is an amazing business taking care of your special day, the most important day of your life, your wedding. Peak Entertainment at peakdj.com. Fontaine Forestry and Millworks of East Montpelier, Route 14, just down from Bragg Farm. Mark Fontaine and his family have been doing it for a long, long time. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get a chance to sneak him on the podcast at some point, maybe this summer. It is with so much excitement. I don't know if you can tell by my face, but I am so excited to introduce this guy next to me, Chad Hollister, Vermont's own. And he is someone who has become a great friend in a very short period of time. When did I meet you?
I think it was at that the Exotic Dance Club just down the road. But I mean, I didn't know if you wanted to.
That was the second time I met you. I'm saying
sorry.
The first time I met you.
The first time. I think it was.
I don't know, but it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, something like that. I don't know.
Let's see when. I mean. Oh, I think it was the other station days back.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't know how we kind of came.
Well,
towards each other.
We hit it off literally within seconds.
Yeah.
I felt like, man, is this like a past life? I've known this dude. I've seen him before. We've been friends in a past life when I lived in Mercury or Venus. I don't remember, but it
was Pluto.
It was it Pluto?
Yeah. Yeah.
It just felt like we had
Plutonians.
We've just had natural chemistry ever since, and gosh, we've become great friends. You've been on the air with me on multiple radio stations over the years, and most recently on 101 The One in Waterbury, where you come on and, my God, I never know when your phone is filming YouTube Live. We've just had so much fun over the years. We have to talk about, we're going to talk a little bit about your life, your music, your family. You're going to play the guitar. You're going to play some of the songs that you've written. But first and foremost, I just want to say, I'm wearing a Chad Hollister hat right now. I'm wearing my Chad Hollister new T-shirt.
Well, yes, those are brand new. Nobody really has those
Where'd
yet.
you get these shirts? Who did the printing? Break it down for me.
You know, Tim Cece at States Are Real takes care of all of our printing. Tim and Kevin Statzer, who's been a longtime friend of mine back to, way back.
Now, this sweatshirt here.
That's old school.
This is my older Chad Hollister sweatshirt.
Yeah. Sherilyn's waiting so you can use it as a rag.
I'll tell you why she's frustrated. And she's frustrated because of the back of the sweatshirt, which says, I know Chad. And there's a problem with this. And that's that every time we're out in public, I have people asking me, who's Chad?
Yeah.
We were at Gillette Stadium, and I had folks coming up to me, down in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Who's Chad? And my answer is very simple. It's YouTube. Just in a sentence, in a quick YouTube. Just Google him, YouTube him, and come on up to Vermont and see Chad. You'll know who Chad is.
Yeah, well, it's a great story. For years, 7 years, I played every Wednesday at T-Bone's restaurant in Colchester, right next to Costco there, and now it's back to its original name, the Lighthouse. Good Fred Tim Brockmeyer owned the place, and used to know him from Killington, and so he bought the place and knew he wanted to have entertainment, so brought me in. So I was the guy every Wednesday, and just still people tell me, wow, man, we miss, actually Holly, Tim Brick's lovely, Holly Jinxie Purple as we call her. She was there most every Wednesday. She and Patty and just the whole amazing crew of friends that have really kind of expanded my fan base throughout the years. But Jamie Grimes was behind the bar, and he and Corey, one time they came in and they had made, each week they would make different Chad T-shirts. One was, Chad for president. It was back when Obama was running, and then other really silly things. But the one that really stuck with me is this time when he said that, I know Chad. And I asked him, I said, hey man, could you, and literally it was this white T-shirt that he had done. It looked like a, kid in 4th grade had written, I know Chad on it. I said, can I use that? And he said, sure.
That's great.
So it just kind of became a thing.
I want to thank you for
for this
one. This is now. Where can we get these new sweatshirts? Where
you could get them at the shows right now. I got to get my online divvies up, but you can always order them through info@chadmusic.com. Chadmusic.com is our site, and that goes right to our site manager there, and order them right up. But
and you can get the hat too.
Yep, the hat, the long sleeve tee, which is in season right now, and and all the music, of course. So
in all the music, absolutely. Now, what about a Chad Hollister thong?
A what?
A Chad Hollister thong.
Yeah, well, we had those, but JD brought the last 7. I had 4 pink, 2 black, and 1 leopard skin. And he's like, I want all 7. I'm like, dude.
You can see how this is going to go.
South. It goes south very quickly.
Now, let's talk about your cheap $14.95 microphone. Let's compare microphones, please. No, I want to.
Okay.
Let's talk about this cheap microphone that you have.
All right. Well, I mean,
what is it?
I've been working with these amazing folks right here that make this. This is the M81 Telefunken microphone.
Oh.
That you
now wait a second.
Telefunken
wait a second.
M81. Yeah, because you start I did tell you that you could get it at any store down the road, but you really can't. Alan Venitosh, the GM at Telefunken, is an amazing human. Actually, they're out at the NAMM show right now in Anaheim, California, with all of our people selling these very microphones. So, yeah.
Tell me about the microphone.
It's just awesome. I've been using them for a few years now. I was using a different mic, and I was at this playing this one of those mud runs, where they go through the hills and all that.
Sure.
And the sound guy there down in Connecticut said, "Hey man, you should try this M80." And I sang through, and I'm like, whoa, it blew me away. So I've been going back and forth between the M80 and this is the M81, which are, our boys down the road, Fish, are singing through M80s.
Really?
Tom Petty, he sang through an M80, and a lot of great folks are using these amazing mics, and they're also very well known for their studio mics. Frank Zappa. In one of his songs, the Telefunken U47, which is the big long one. So, so they have quite a history. In Germany, they started, and now there's Telefunken USA, which is down in South Windsor, Connecticut, and we do a lot of work with them.
So can I borrow your mic next time around?
No, definitely not.
Okay,
no way.
Let's shift gears into Saturday, February 9th, which is rapidly approaching. This is your 6th year performing at the Spruce Peak Performing Arts Center.
It is.
And this is going to be a sellout show at the rate where we have just a few seats left. We're basically sold out right now.
Yeah, no, well, we don't want to say that. There's about, I'd say probably about 35 seats left. So they will go, but we never like people to be. Yeah. So we always are careful with the sold out, because sometimes when you say it, people are like, oh, I thought it was sold out, but it is not. There still are tickets left, but not many.
Okay.
So it is time to get off your death and
get your tickets.
Get your tickets.
So how do you do that? Spruce Peak
Arts.org. Yeah. And
I'll be introducing you that night.
I know. I'm really excited about that. And also, I just have to say that our friendship has been awesome, and I really appreciate you as a friend, as a brother. But how proud I am of this show. Aired Out is a really big deal. And I know all the work that you've been doing up to now, but this, to me, is a really big deal, and you're killing it. And so you people out there, make sure to tell all your friends about Aired Out, an amazing array of guests. I'm actually sending a bunch of my friends JD's way, who are kind of unsung musical heroes in Vermont. I know one we've talked about that you're a huge fan of, that I'm a huge fan of, Francesca Blanchard, is coming on. She's amazing.
Can't wait.
Zach Nugent of the Jerry Garcia Band, who's a good friend of mine. And
keep it going.
Russ Lawton from the Trey Anastasio Band, and formerly of the Natives, formerly of the band Zebra. He's one of my heroes and one of my dear friends.
Go, baby. Keep going.
Gosh, Alex Budney, who used to book at Nectar's, now is a bass player for Seth Yakavone, and among many, many others, one of the best bass players ever.
Keep going.
Yeah. Gosh, I didn't have my list in front of me.
John Gilmore.
John Gilmore, he's become a dear friend of mine and one of my musical heroes growing up, and we've gotten to do some shows together and sang together, and he's just one of the kindest, real dudes you'll ever meet, and just such a Vermont gem. And is turning 70 this year. Like, wow. He's incredible.
There was another Zach in there.
Yes, Zach DuPont.
Yes,
that's right. He's amazing.
Can't wait, man.
Yeah, so there's so many people that I'm excited to share with you and share with your people, because there's so much talent in Vermont.
Oh my God, it's unbelievable.
And oftentimes when people make it to a next level, Vermont kind of disappears. But I think that's the thing for me in my heart, is that Vermont is really never. This is where I'm from, and where so many of my friends live, thrive, and survive, and it's such a beautiful place to. It's home, and it really is a different. It's a different set of state of mind.
Sure,
I find always I travel all over the world, but always coming back home is such a heartfelt feeling that I really, really appreciate.
Speaking of traveling, you just returned home to the Green Mountain State last July, and you were gone for 6 months in a tour bus that you and your beautiful wife, Katie, purchased, and you took your two children with you for 6 months on the road, performing all around the nation. You went everywhere, and kind of circumvented almost every state, I think. But it was insane. But more insane than how many miles you put on the bus was the fact that you brought 2 young children with you and homeschooled them on the bus. That alone, first of all, you're an incredible musician, and I admire you on so many levels. But first and foremost, before you are a talent, you are a dad. You're a great husband too, so I hear. But you're kick-ass father.
Yeah.
To your kids. No, you really are.
Yeah.
You
well, I mean,
really are. You homeschooled them on this bus with your wife.
Yeah, and the true kudos goes out to Katie, my wife Katie, who's an amazing artist. Actually, going to show you and brag about her artwork right now. This is one of her birch pieces, and actually you will notice this theme as you see our sets go up for Spruce Peak. KatieO'RourkeArt.com, plug. But she was the homeschooler. I always drive the bus. Katie drove it a little bit, but I was the driver getting us to the next city. So she, a couple months in, we realized that it was very difficult in the beginning because it seemed like this eternal vacation. Sure. And for the kids, they were amazing with their adjustment and going from, city to city and kind of house concert to house concert and school to school. I was doing a lot of music in schools with kids, which is something that I've been doing in the past few years. And what we realized is that with help from friends who had been doing homeschooling is that we needed to unschool and have the experience really speak for itself and focus still on reading and on math, but let the experience speak for what it is. I mean, we learned there was so much Native American history that really hit both Riley and Bodie at their core, realizing what we did to the Native Americans.
And they got a chance to see areas where the Native Americans made it happen.
Yeah.
Created everything. I mean, you guys went through the Grand Canyon. The pictures on social media were unbelievable.
Yeah,
I want to know who was navigating. Was it you?
No.
Did you have one hand on the wheel and the other hand on your maps?
So
your phone?
the honest story, I like to make stories up, and Katie will be the first to attest to that. But the navigator is my wife, is Katie. For me, as I travel all over the country, I use my phone. I use Waze. I use Google Maps. I'm not a fan of Google Maps. Oh, it drives me crazy. Yeah. But I'm just, I just punch in the address and go. Sure. Whereas Katie, she is the map queen. She will bring it up. She will say, see, look, and it's so good because she's, see, we're going from here to here, but this elevation and this, I mean, we found ourselves in Colorado, and I had done the trip from to Winter Park, and I had done it in a van and a trailer, but I'd never done it on a 30-foot bus. So I'm like, whoa. Looking over the edge.
So Katie's in the back.
Right next to me. She's right in the passenger seat.
But so she's doing trigonometry in one hand, and in the other hand, checking the maps to make sure that the course.
Well, the homeschooling did not happen while we were traveling.
Okay.
The kids, sometimes they would be doing their reading.
Okay, reading.
But whenever there was some serious mathematics to be done or, other things, they also learned about what it is to run a business on the road. Sure. With for my merchandise to what I was making to what we were putting in for gas to they also kept all of our receipts. That was their job.
Profit margin stuff.
So just learning about it being, music is such a gift, and when you're a kid, obviously when you're traveling they were seeing it firsthand, but when you just see, you come to Spruce and you see the show, you're like, man, those guys are rock stars. And and we're not. What people need to know is that is not normal. And as soon as I step, you've heard me say it. People, this is not normal. We don't do this every night because so many people, that's the only show that they've seen is these big shows, but they don't see me at the Whammy Bar or down the road.
And and so you guys live in Worcester. You live in the country.
Yes, on a dirt road.
This is home, which is, of course, is right down the road. And you're performing, your schedule, first of all, what is it, ChadHollisterMusic.com?
ChadMusic.com.
ChadMusic.com. And, of course, on Facebook, which you are just so good about getting back to folks. Your schedule, your performance schedule is borderlining absurdity. I mean, you're everywhere, brother. You play everywhere.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I know. I have buddies who are crazy. I mean, one of the things that I'm not really doing is touring like crazy. I'm in this next year. I'm kind of focusing more on Vermont and focusing on the small town theaters. You know, one of our mutual friends, Rusty DeWeese, big fan of his, as well as Patrick Ross, who's a dear friend of mine. Just played with Patrick at Stowe last Saturday. He's unreal and a great guy. He's been a friend of mine. Actually, his cousin Julie and I. Julie was Katie's boss back when we first met, so just the connections are endless. But focusing more on Vermont and on the great small little nooks, we're talking to a place called Artist Tree in Pomfret. We're looking at the Highland Center for the Arts, where I really am excited to be playing with those guys. That's
up Greensboro.
Yes,
I hear the acoustics in that theater are supposed to be just
it's amazing,
remarkable.
Talking to the Weston Playhouse and doing shows, but I really want to be bringing my show to the people instead of people always having to travel. I mean, obviously this is an amazing show, and I love it when people come, and they do come. But I also love traveling around and bringing what we have into the small towns and villages of Vermont.
Yeah,
because it's so great. I mean, the intimacy. I love people being right there in front of you.
You know, first of all, your album here, "Stop the World," is so incredible.
Oh, thank you.
You can't really. What have you had folks say to you about this album? Because you can't really put it in a box.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of diversity to it, and I think for us, even with Pacific Records, we wanted to deliver the very first record with the 10-piece band. And so we had, all four horns, Chris Peterman front in the section, and then just the whole rockin' band. And it was so fun to be able to deliver that to the people and bring it out. I mean, because it was 6 years ago that it started when I approached Chris Peterman, who runs our horn section. He's just an amazing guy, Pete's. And we write the parts together. I go, I want boop begadoo begadoo boom, and he goes, oh, okay,
and he memorizes it.
Doodly doodly doo, writes it down. So that and to me, it's kind of the horns that brought it to another place that people talk about in the full band, because people love the solo show and the duo shows with Primo, Jeff Baremski, our lead guitar player, and
it's a whole different experience. It's totally different.
It is. But so I think just with the record, we're just really proud of it and proud to be a part of Pacific Records. One of our new things that's happening with it is we're releasing it on vinyl.
Whoa.
Since I was a kid, I always wanted to release vinyl, and when I started making records, we were doing it on CD and cassette, and then now just CDs, but there's this resurgence of vinyl, and just a passion of mine about vinyl, and we are pressing it at the second smallest record plant in the world, Burlington Records.
Really?
Yeah. Justin, who used to play with the band Waylon Speed, and his brother, started it. Not sure where it would go, and I went and toured the facility. It's right on Pine Street in Burlington. Yeah. Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable, and I'm so excited to reconnect with the brothers, who are an amazing. Two amazing guys.
I got in so much trouble one night. Cheryl and Lily were up and down Church Street Marketplace, and I went in there, and I couldn't get out. I mean, I was held captive. I could not get out.
There's something so incredible about about the taking it old school, about vinyl.
And it's coming back. I don't know if you've seen the numbers, but I mean, vinyl is coming back. The insurgence is unbelievable.
Yeah, and Pacific Records is really excited about it. You know, Brian and Pat.
Can we talk a little bit about what happened with you getting signed with Pacific Records? This was such a huge deal. This was a real breakthrough moment for you in your life. What happened and when?
Well, boy, it was a couple years ago, and good friend who would be great to get on the show as well, Martin Gigi. I used to be in his band years ago, the Martin Gigi Band, and he worked a bit with Pacific and in bringing them artists, and had been, since he started working with them, was talking to them about me and about my music, because way back in this is the 20-year anniversary of the Chad record, which was the one with Monster Truck and Kiss Me. It's the brown record, as we explain it, a picture of me on the cover. And he kind of co-produced that one with Charlie Midnight from the Doobie Brothers, Joe Cocker and James Brown and Joni Mitchell. We did it in L.A. And so ever since that time, Martin and I have always reconnected and played. We had a duo that would play all over New England called Second Nature, which was Martin on piano and myself on congas. Originally, I'm a drummer, and went from drums to hand percussion and timbales and kind of the Latin percussion vibe to guitar and singing all the way through. But Martin and I have always stayed connected, and he pitched me to Pacific, and I flew out to L.A. And then we drove together down the PCH to San Diego and met with those guys, and I performed for them, and I really, really liked Pat and Brian sitting there with the president and the vice president and on their soundstage in San Diego.
Wow.
And so now, you know, but it's interesting because it's great to have somebody other than myself promoting me. But when you're talking an independent label, there's not budget. You know, it still is definitely a struggle. And I think that's the thing in reality. I mean, I'd love to be able to say, yeah, I'm, you know, signed on this big record deal. It's not a big record deal. It's wonderful, and they are great to work with, but finances are tough, you know.
Sure.
And you know, the song "Breathe" went into the movie 9/11, which was directed by went on the soundtrack actually for 9/11, which was directed by Martin Gigi, and so
wow.
That was a great placement.
And that's on your album, Stop the World.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is "Breathe" is, I think, my favorite Chad Hollister song. You just did that in the studio with me the other morning live, which is always my request, which it probably shouldn't be, to introduce some different stuff. Speaking of which, did you bring a guitar today?
Nope.
No? All right.
No. Oh, wait, I might, there might be one.
Yeah, if you can look around in the studio here, you might find one. Oh my God, you just found one.
I found one.
We should just, again, remind you to not only subscribe to Aired Out if you haven't done so already, but also check out Chad on YouTube. Some of the videos that you'll find are just amazing. This guy is so talented. Our sponsors again for Aired Out, CBDCrave.com, Peak Entertainment of Vermont and New Hampshire, Fontaine Forestry and Millworks of East Montpelier, Route 14 down from Bragg Farm, and of course Central Vermont Television, CVTV, which is where we are today. Chad Hollister in the studio with us.
When the wall comes down and you've lost your crown and the clouds, they seem so dark, and you've lost who you are, and then the stone feels cold right down to your soul. Just find your core in the dark of the early morn, and you crave your own, mean you're not alone in the air. It's your only friends Just breathe and breathe once again. And it all seems so black and white, just like that winter evening sky. Just breathe, breathe once again. Say once again. And again. When the rain pours down and you've almost drowned in the tears and the water blends, it's hard to see where you are. And then it's getting so cold and you're feeling old, and there's a door that's open her walking. Oh, yes. And you crave your own, and you're not alone in the air. It's your only friend. Just breathe, breathe once again. And then it all seems so black and white, just like that winter evening sky. Just breathe, breathe once again. Oh, once again. Light, light, light. Once again. Light, 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 light. Once again. Light, 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 light. Again, 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 again. Ooh, 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 ooh. And you crave your home, and you're not alone in the air. It's your only friends. Just breathe and breathe once again. And that it all seems so black and white, just like that Vermont winter evening sky. Just breathe, breathe once again. And you crave your own, and you're not alone in the air. It's your only friend. Just breathe, breathe, breathe once again. And that it all seems so black and white, just like that winter evening sky. Hey, just breathe, breathe once again. Just breathe, breathe once again. Oh, just breathe, breathe, hey, once again. Said once again. And again, yeah, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Just breathe once again.
That's it. You know, when you played that song for me, the first time that I had ever heard it was not on the CD. It was
just a single.
It was just you playing it, just like that. And I remember while you were playing it, what was in my head, which was, there is no way that a song like that could be done with a 10-piece band. But what happens when the band plays that song on stage?
So
there's magic.
Yeah, well, so it's a great question, and we don't. So there's the horns leave the stage, and we've done different things. I've done it. I mean, obviously, for my solo and duo shows, I do it solo or with Primo. But One time, we've had one of our members, Steve Benson, plays pedal steel and mandolin.
Well, that's what I remember seeing.
Steve and then Primo and I, we've done it trio, but we've also added it where Tommy, our drummer, Tommy Deal, plays brushes and does a nice little thing. Caleb Bronze, also another one of our drummers, who's a local amazing hero. He's one that's also going to be on the show. He's a genius, and a dear friend, as is Tommy. We're so lucky just with the musicians, the guys in the band. And then Rudy Doth, our amazing bass player, has been with us for a couple of years. He's a total mainstay in the Vermont music scene and one of the nicest, most talented guys. So the answer is that I like it always to be different. And you know, we have Shane, an amazing you know, piano B3 player. He's playing with us this year, kind of adding a new member.
Wow.
So we it's always different, and I think that's the thing, is that I never play any song the same twice.
Sure.
You know, there's just and just because I feel it, I hear it in different ways, and people kind of know that, and I think that's. I hope that's why people keep coming back, because I guess I've heard it a lot too, and it's not something that I do extremely consciously. Like, hey, I'm gonna play this different and go, you know, but I did, you know, in that version that I just did right now, I did some syncopation stuff that I haven't really done, you know, but
that's so amazing.
It's always different.
I remember. The performance with that gentleman on the foot pedal steel, and what he did, and the crying, if you will, during the song on that, was just, I mean, it puts goosebumps on you. It really does. February 9th, Saturday night, you're going to be at the Spruce Peak Performing Arts Center up at the mountain. Yeah, and with a show that this is year number 6. Probably, most likely, going to sell out. So I'll tell you what, if you haven't yet grabbed your tickets, get them while you can. You've actually had people say, "Oh man, it's sold out. You didn't tell me."
Yeah, you know, people are funny like that.
Don't wait. Don't wait.
People, and you know what? We have to. If you're cool,
yeah,
I know
please.
So these shows do not happen the same way that Aired Out does not happen without the help of our sponsors, and I just have to put huge thanks out to our two major sponsors this year: Berlin Optical Expressions and Cold Hollow Cider Mill. Amazing folks, as well as WDEV and 101 The One, National Life Group, Tres Amigos, the part of the Rusty Nail there. They're feeding us that night. Breton and Simon, attorneys at law. Vermont Distillers, Freelance Automotive. Dwayne Sorelli's amazing. Andy and the crew at the Alpine Shop, South Burlington. Minuteman Press makes these gorgeous posters and does our artwork. Volkl Skis will actually be raffling off a pair of Volkl skis that night. And keeping in mind that a portion of the proceeds is going to go to Vermont Federation of Families and Children's Mental Health. Wow! Because we always like to, you know, we like to help with the community and help give back. And one of the things that has been really prevalent in friends of mine in these past few years has been depression and suicide. Sure. And I feel that through our friends at Vermont Federation of Families, Cindy Tabor, if they work on catching it early. So if we can help the youth of our country know that when they're depressed or they're feeling that something's not right, like, it is a really hard time to grow up. You know, with all the social media, all the pressures. You know, I mean, when we were kids, you know, I hate sounding like an old guy, but when I was a kid, you know, but truly, we just went outside and played. And if there was a problem, I mean, you know, there were bullies, you know, kids, you know, I got bullied as a kid. But I think that these times there's such a pressure on these kids. You know, Riley, my daughter, is 13, and just, you know, she doesn't seem to really feel it, but but I do. And Bodie at 11, just trying to keep up with the other kids. I feel it's really, really hard. And I think it's really easy to have that feeling that you're not good enough. And I think that's when depression sets in. So anyway, we as a band feel really strongly it trying to do a small little part. We're also trying to stay afloat and
Sure.
And,
So you got to
pay the bills.
You got a portion of the proceeds.
A portion of the proceeds. Everything. We're going to do a raffle that night. We're raffling off our good friend Val at Ladder One. She gave us some amazing gift certificates to Ladder One and Maruzzi's. And then we're raffling off a pair of Volkl skis. And then I don't know, other items are going to come in, but all the raffle money is going to go to them, as well as a portion of the proceeds. We're going to kind of see how it tallies up, but just going to help out a little bit to the Vermont Federation of Families.
Let's quickly here, and I want you to play another song for us in a minute, but let's mention one of your sponsors, Berlin Optical Expressions. So, now, see, here you go. So you're laughing. So Mark Lippert.
Mark Lippert.
When you walk into Optical Expressions and Mark is there, I wonder if he looks through a little glass window and sees you coming and says, "Oh God, here we go. Here we go. Chad's in the house, everybody."
You know, it is the funniest thing because they're just the relationship started with the previous owner, Pete Boyle, and I was walking through the Berlin Mall, and Pete and I came, I came in and he said, "Hey man, are you Chad Hollister?" And it happens a little bit to me, not really, people that recognize me or whatever, and and I was in an elevator once, and people she's like, I think it's him, and I was in an elevator at the Hampton Inn in Colchester, and he said, "Excuse me, did you used to play drums in the UVM pep band?" I said, "Oh boy, yes, I did," and so she recognized me from that. But so it's pretty rare and funny. Sometimes it's not, from the big shows that you hope they remembered you from.
Sure.
But anyway, Pete says, "Are you Chad Hollister?" I said, "Yes, I am," and he remembered a specific Nectar show that we had done, probably 18, 20 years prior. He remembered specific songs, and so he kind of brought me in. He said, "Oh man, you got to have cool, you got to have cool glasses." So then I said, "Yeah, man, you're right. I do. I got to have really, really cool glasses." And then he said, "Yeah, but it doesn't end right there because you need the clear ones."
Oh,
oh yeah. And he said, "And then if you want to look really smart, you got to have these ones, like your collegiate." And I'm like,
yes.
"Ooh, see, but the old Buddy Holly has kind of become my signature series. These guys." But then these guys are great too, because then you just then it's the kind of the Ray Charles. So it is.
I don't think I have ever, and I've said this on the air many times, I don't think I've ever seen you with the same pair of glasses on twice.
Well, and that's thanks to those guys. They're amazing supporters. And Mark Lippert, he's incredible, and
can I borrow the white ones?
Yeah,
all right,
you gotta try them. Keep in mind they are prescription. That's the thing.
Yeah,
but Berlin Optical Expressions, they're amazing, and the whole staff there is just great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who needs to put back a couple of beers when you can just wear Chad Hollister's glasses?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, actually, they might make you feel like you've had a couple beers because
that's what I'm saying.
Prescription. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Right.
So.
I wasn't sure if it was just an electrifying feeling that you're like, look at both of us with our shades on.
You
always wear shades.
Your dad, your pop, said something to you, taught you something that you have shared on the air with me many, many times about, and I've asked you this, do you ever get nervous before you step out onto a stage? And are you more nervous when it's a smaller audience versus Spruce Peak Performing Arts Center, like Saturday, February 9th? And your answer to that is what?
I always do. No matter what it is. There's more anxiety that happens around the bigger shows just because there's so many different pieces. We've got, I've got a guitar tech, our mutual brother Blue Fox teching for me. I've got, sound crew, Josh and Ezra working the monitors and the main house, and then I've got Kyle Rose, my lighting director. I've got set directors. I've got the whole staff from. It's like a whole production. So that it's like, finally when that day comes and I step out on that stage, there's such a sigh of relief once I go into song number one. Because
are you able to forget about those boys and just concentrate and just get into the zen?
Yes, because that's what the great team's all about. And so I am, because we take time and we sound check and we, we do great we take time and it's great. So yeah, that's good.
But your dad.
He told me. You just got to keep switching them up.
Yeah.
This is a guitar right here. See, these are the underplayed ones right here. So you got these, which are pretty cool, but these are like immediately when I met my buddy Dave Cowens from Woodbury Lake, Dave and Vicky. He said he started calling me Drew Carey, and that's not really cool, Dave. All right.
Yeah.
But these are like the more the less impact. You know. So Dad said that if you don't get nervous, there's something wrong. Coming full circle, it took me a half hour to answer that question. Sorry, I've always remembered that and felt that. Dad passed away 14 years ago. Yeah, and so he's very present in our daily lives, and was an amazing guy.
And you bring his spirit onto stage with you. You speak about him on stage. He had some funky dance moves.
Yeah, I'm a horrible dancer. Our son Bodie is an amazing dancer, and I'm just watching him. He's got this show coming up at the Barry Opera House, and I literally last night was in the kitchen watching Bodie do these they're dancing to this Leon Bridges song. I'm a huge Leon Bridges fan, man. That guy is so sick.
If you were to try to dance with Bodie, you'd probably throw a hip out.
I did. I danced with him last night, and Riley tapes us and laughs at me, not at him because he's very good.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard to keep up. I mean, that dude's good. He takes dance at Contemporary Dance and Fitness there, and he's in this dance class with our good friend Rose Leach, huge fan of hers, who choreographed. Actually, you should have seen this. At the Chandler Music Hall in Randolph, she choreographed "Breathe" and did this.
Wow.
I won't even. And I, while I was singing the song, was crying. I had a really hard time because I was watching her, and she's just she's so infectious, and that's what she does with her teaching is so amazing. Yeah. So it's awesome.
Grab that guitar, if you would. The one that's made out of a little bit of wood and a little bit of steel. Before you play that, and I want to just say here on the record on Aired Out, what do I need to do to get Dave Keller to come on this podcast with me?
You just have
Can you ask? No, please.
Dave.
Can you ask? Right there.
Dave,
right here. This camera right here.
Dave Keller. JD Green's going to be in touch with you.
Please,
he's on.
Please.
He's one of my dear friends, and we do a lot of gig trades. I got him into Woodbury Lake. He gets me gigs all the time, and he's just killing it, man, with his blue. He's Vermont's, as a good buddy of ours, Zeb Norris down the road says he's Vermont's ambassador to the blues.
Dave, we want you.
Dave, he might come here. You know what's funny?
Dave's not here.
Dave's not here, man. We did a fundraiser for our Doty school where Katie and Neha Shukla, they run the kitchen there. And I called Dave the night before. I said, dude, come on out. It's going to be a blast. And he came out, and I just set up and played. And Dave Keller, myself, and Blue Fox jammed at the pie breakfast.
Oh, my God. Wow. Wow. Hey, speaking of big names in music, we have, I'm so excited. Wayne Warner sent me a text today that he's coming on.
Nice.
Jamie Lee Thurston.
Yep, longtime friend of Jamie's. You know what's funny is that Wayne and I've heard so many stories about Wayne through you and through other mutual friends. And I've never met him, so I'm looking forward to... Well,
you're going to soon. Before you play, intro this guitar a little bit, the story behind it.
So we work a lot with a lot of different companies. Of course, Telefunken, we've talked about them. Godin Guitars out of Canada.
Yeah.
And Fishman, that is the internal innards of many of the guitars that you see today from the Martins. That Martin has a Fishman in it. Everything, all these have Fishman pickups in them. They invited us to a luthiers conference, which is where guitar makers from all over the world get together and showcase their guitars. Guitars ranging from $1,000 to $100,000 a piece. And so they said come, and so we came, and Primo and I went, and we met this guy, Paul Beard, and he makes this incredible the decaphonic guitar, and Primo and
Yeah,
I.
show that to the camera here, right in the middle.
There we go.
Look at that.
So we basically played these guitars, and then we each bought one. So I talked to Paul and I said, hey, listen, man, I'd love to represent you. And Dennis Mickley is the A&R guy there, and I've been in touch with him. They're out at the NAMM show right now, as I mentioned before, which is the biggest show that, or guitar, all the, Fishman's out there, all of our people are out there. Godin and Fishman and Beard and all these great people. And so we now just represent Paul. As well as Godin and play his guitars and play Godin guitars, but this one is called a Rezo guitar, and it mixes this cone of metal here with just beautiful woods, so I think it's only fitting that we play a song with it. Which one do you want to hear?
Oh gosh. I would say whichever one. Yeah, that would be killer if you do that. Whichever is most appropriate for this instrument.
Yeah, they all are, but we'll go with this one. This is "Stop the World." When Mom's ever having one of those moments that she doesn't want to forget, she says, "Stop the world. I want to get off," just like JD's shirt says. Stop the world. 'Cause I won't get off. 'Cause this moment, oh, it's just too good to be true. I'm gonna savor. I'm gonna love everything that you feed me. So darling, don't you stop till I am through. It's hard to believe that all these years have gone by. Everything that we've been through. But my eyes see as I sit with you 5 and the 18 that you created. And this family cannot be debated, so stop the world. 'Cause I wanna get off. 'Cause this moment right here is just too good to be true. I'm gonna savor. I'm gonna love everything that you feed me. So darling, don't you stop till I am through. The laughter we share almost every day, it keeps me young, and it keeps me thinking of you. Yeah, but keep on laughing till you feel that sweet belly pain, and that good love and ache will remind us of this day. So try stop the world. 'Cause I wanna get off. Because this moment right here is just too good to be true. I'm gonna savor. I'm gonna love everything that you feed me. So darling, don't you stop. Don't stop till I am through. The laughter we share almost every day keeps me thinking. Keeps me thinking that way. Stop the world, 'cause I wanna get off. Because this moment right here, babes, It's just too good to be true. I'm gonna save her. I'm gonna love everything that you feed me. So darling, don't you stop till I am through. Darling, don't you stop till I am through. Oh, child, darling, don't you stop till I am through.
Stop the World, the title track from Chad Hollister's CD, which of course you can get online. And wow, man, you blow my mind. You blow my mind. Grab that last guitar and take us out here the last couple of minutes as I thank sponsors, and thank you so much, Chad Hollister, for coming on the podcast, Aired Out.
I can't believe we're done.
I know, man. Sherilyn said to me, you're never going to be able to have Chad Hollister on for an hour. You're never going to do it. You're never going to do it.
Just thinking about, just time, how time flies when you're having fun.
You and I, we were never at a loss for words, which is a testament to our friendship. There's always so much to talk about.
It's so true.
Always.
Well, hey, man, so proud of you, brother. I just have to say it. And for those of you out there, please support your local artists wherever you live, thrive, and survive. It's so important. It's really what this show is about. The arts of many, many different forms that JD will be bringing you. Yeah. But I really appreciate it on our end.
Just keep strumming there. But just curious, are you self-taught? Did you teach yourself how?
Yeah, so I just grew up playing drums and being in the bands, from concert band to jazz band, but I've never really taken a guitar lesson, which is why I can't play guitar solos, or I've never really done scales or any of that stuff, which is where the solos originate from. But
music in the family, mom, dad?
Mom's a singer and plays piano, and my sister Kip plays piano and guitar and sings.
How old is Mom now?
Mom's 86,
and she'll be in the audience.
Joan Hollister will be there. My brother Mark, his wife Margaret will be there. I think maybe even my niece Meryl will be there.
Saturday night, February 9th at the Spruce Peak Performing Arts Center. One more time with that website to grab tickets.
SprucePeakArts.org.
All right, Chad Hollister, everybody. So honored to have him in the studio here at Central Vermont Television. CVTV, Public Access, Channel 192 and 194 is where you can watch it. Also on YouTube. My channel is called Aired Out. That's the name of the podcast in my channel, and I appreciate you so much subscribing. Thanks again to our sponsors, CBDcrave.com. Top quality, top products, what you deserve. Delivered fresh and straight to your door. Great people over at CBDcrave.com. Chris will take very good care of you. Get on the website and check out all their product line. It's amazing. 30% off, too, if you put in JD30, by the way. Everything on their website, which is amazing. Thank you, Chris. So cool. Peak Entertainment of Vermont and New Hampshire. Weddings, proms, party DJs serving Vermont and New Hampshire. Newton Wells and Company. You talk about top quality. There you go right there. Peak Entertainment. Mark Fontaine and Fontaine Forestry and Millworks of East Montpelier. Route 14 just down from Bragg Farm. One of our sponsors here of the Aired Out podcast. And CVTV, as I said, Public Access Television. Channel 192 and 194. Thank you, Tony Campos and Abubakar, our producer. We'll catch you next time around. Chad Hollister.
Get me here before you go. Before you go. Now before you go. Before you go. It's the simple little things that I don't want you to miss, like the eagle's nest upon the ledge or the morning mountain mist, the geese flying in their V, they follow in the sun, or the smile from across the room that says you're the one, you're the. Show me your eyes before we say goodbye. Oh, we never said hello. Look at me, child. Look at me before you go. Before you go.